Hi, this is Marie of Creations, and we're going to continue this automatic transforming with an angle that we started with our shapes. This time we're going to use a photograph. And I've got a photograph, it's a stock photo, I think it's out of the examples in my Photoshop samples folder. And I'm using it because it's small and it's bright and it's colorful. Now, I have expanded the canvas. I've made this, increased the canvas size so it's 6 inches square. And you'll probably want to work on a square canvas. But you definitely need your canvas a lot bigger than your picture. The first thing we're going to do is jump the photo up on its own layer so we don't have the background with it. And to do that, I select my magic wand and click on the white area. I find that it's a lot easier to click on the white and select inverse than it is to try and get all the colors from the photo. So now we're going to jump this to its own layer by Command or Control J, and you can see it's popped it up on its own layer. Turn off the visibility of the background layer, and we'll name this one Starting Point. I'm going to put a layer underneath this by holding the Command or the Control down as I hit the new layer icon. And I'm going to fill it with white using the keyboard shortcut Command or Control Delete because white is my background color. Now what I need to do is draw in some guides, and if your rulers don't show along the sides, you need to go View and check the rulers. And we pull a guide by just going up to the ruler, clicking and dragging down. And I want this guide centered exactly in the middle. Since this is a 6-inch document, I need the guides under 3 inches. I'm going to grab the Move tool. Whoops. It helps if you're in the correct layer. We want to be in the starting point layer. Grab the Move tool and put that where it's exactly butted up against the guides, where its corner is in the center of the canvas. Okay, now what we're going to do is our Alt Control T or Option Command T, and we want to put the pivot point on this one to the center of the document. Use Shift key while rotating to constrain the angle. And we'll pull that out, and we can go 15, we can go 30, we can go 45. I think I'm going to use 15. And remember, when you hold your Shift key as you rotate it, it constrains this pivot to 15, 30, 45, or 90 degree angle. When we've got it where we want it to be, now let's go one more. Let's go 30 on this one. We hit Enter. And now we can use Shift, Alt, Control T, or Shift, Option, Command T to put copies, each on their own layer, until you're all the way around. Since I'm recording this, it runs up a little slower. This will work faster for you than it will for me. Now you see, when we're all done, this top layer has overlapped the starting point. And there's a couple of things we can do for that. We can either put a layer mask on it, or if your program doesn't support layer masks, we can erase. So let's try the layer mask first. I'm going to go to my polygonal lasso tool, click directly on the center guide, then go down and click right in the middle, and then click off to the side directly on the center guide, and then choose a point someplace in between, and then double click and it'll make a complete selection. We'll hit our layer mask, which actually masks the wrong thing out. So what we need to do is put Control or Command I to invert that layer mask. And you can see Okay, we've got the top one, but the next to the top one is also overlapping that. So we'll go down to this next layer and do the same thing, making sure we're exactly on the lines. We'll make a layer mask, we'll invert it, and there we go. We have almost correct. We have one little problem right here. If you notice, all these others are square angles and this one is not, so we need to fix that. We'll go to that top layer. We'll go to our layer mask, make sure it's highlighted, and you can see there's a little square around it. We're going to grab a brush and I'll increase the size of the brush here using my right bracket key, and notice I'm painting in white, and I can paint this back. And then I'll change to black and very carefully get it all there. So it looks pretty good. Let's group all of these together. We'll make a copy of this starting point, and then we'll take the original, we'll click on the bottom layer there, shift click up here on the top layer, and we'll also shift click here to put it in its own folder. Let's pick a green from here and use it to fill this blank layer that we had earlier. And there you have, whoops, let's view clear guides. And you have a really nice kaleidoscope picture. Okay, now let's do the same thing, and this time let's use an eraser. So we'll turn this off, and we already have this set on the guides. So all we need to do is our first transformation, whoops, excuse me, let's put that and actually be on the layer that says starting point. Option Command T, Alt Control T. Put the pivot to the center. Swing it around. Let's swing this one, well, we'll swing this one 15 degrees. Okay. Hit enter and then shift Alt Control T all the way around. Okay, now the trick to erasing easily is go down to this starting point layer and use your magic wand to click in the blank areas and then select inverse. So now you've selected where that original one is. And go back up to the top copy and hit the delete button. And that got rid of part of it. Now you go to the next layer and hit the delete button there. We've still got a little bit of overlap on this. So let's go to the third layer and hit delete. And one more layer and hit the delete. The selection stays selected, so we're good there. So we just need to go back down as many layers as it takes to get rid of that extra overlap and make these look like they're tucked underneath. You might also try selecting the picture on the starting point for your layer masks. So we've made a really neat kaleidoscope. This kaleidoscope is a lot different than the other kaleidoscope. There's more pieces to it. So here's our second one. Here's our first one. I guess we better get rid of the... So you choose which one you like best. I kind of like that one, but it's really hard to tell exactly what it is. But it is pleasing to the eye. Thanks, and have a great day.